Honor mode in BG3 is extremely unforgiving. Dying loses your entire run. Over my time playing the game, I've beat Honor mode several times with different builds and different restrictions. So here are my top tips to ensure you can beat Honor mode and get your golden dice. Comfort. This one sounds a little silly, but when you're playing a build you like and know how it operates, this will majorly increase your success of beating Honor mode. Some players will enjoy spellcasters, some will prefer fighters. Regardless of your style, create your build and your route how you like to play and how you know to play. For me personally, I know Stealth Archer, knowing how I can use the class to maximize my damage, safety, route, XP, items, etc. This also goes for what you do to get XP and what order you do things in. If you are confident in the way you're doing things and you get it consistently down, don't let someone else's route change it unless it needs to get a necessary item for the build. My next tip is the Ring of Free Action. Okay, so this tip is a little bit more targeted, but it will help your runs massively. If you are inexperienced or you don't know what spells enemies have, I would highly recommend having this ring always equipped. This ring stops paralyzing effects such as Hold Person from ruining your run. If you get Hold Person in Honor mode, that character, or if you're playing solo, the run is most likely dead. You find this item at Moonrise Towers from this trader. If you don't care about saving the grove, you can completely skip the goblin camp and grab this ring straight away. Some quests will be missed if you do go into Act 2 from the very start, but for the safety I would highly recommend this, or at least your first priority going into Act 2. If you're playing solo, I would highly recommend playing the Dark Urge. The Dark Urge has two main perks that makes solo that tiny bit easier. First of all, you get a cloak early on in the game that allows you to turn invisible for a few turns after killing an enemy, allowing you for escaping tricky fights and resetting combats. The other one is a big win for solo, but also in a full party, which is a 1v1 against Orin. Orin is very hard in Honor mode, and her Slayer form is no joke with Unstoppable. As the Dark Urge, you can 1v1 her in her human form, which can allow for one phase kills, making Act 3 very easy. You can also get some easy to get inspiration early on, allowing for more successful XP and checks. My next tip is plan your builds. If you want to have some idea before you're going in, I have a couple different recommendations depending on how you feel. Obviously, if you're not one to make builds and come up with those kind of things on your own, fair enough. I would just recommend looking up some guides, looking up some videos on different kind of builds that gravitate to your playstyle. Remember, you can always tweak builds depending on how you like to play, so if there's a certain item or a certain weapon that you like to use that someone else doesn't use, you can very easily merge your kind of build into theirs if it fits. If you like build crafting, there's this great website that I'll link in the description that allows you to add items, stats, classes, etc. Then, whenever you've got your build complete, find the items that you'd like to get from the wiki and find their locations if you don't know what they are. This can make you more confident going into your runs and therefore having more success. Number 5 is use the tadpoles. Unless you're role playing a run with no tadpoles used, always use the tadpoles. There is zero downside to using tadpoles. Things like Call of the Week is free damage in the form of an execute, which is extremely powerful, or ability drain, allowing for things such as a reverberation to proc more often, and other builds that go off status effects. Simply, it is just a buff for your character for free, and they are quite easy to get in the early game, so you can get it online very easily. Now number 6, this one's a little controversial, but I want to mention some exploits and bugs that don't completely break the game. If you're just someone who wants to beat Honor mode and don't care how you do it, these could be things that help you that don't completely ruin the experience. Remember, if you're playing BG3 and you just want to beat it, it doesn't matter how you do it. It's a solo game, you can play it however you want, and it's 100% valid. So here's a few minor bugs that can increase your chances in Honor mode, and none that are going to completely break the game and make it a joke. Number 1, pickpocketing Volo. Now, I wouldn't say this is too much of an exploit. All you're doing is pickpocketing a NPC at your camp who is friendly and doesn't really react to you doing it. That's just how Volo works, because he's an NPC with a quest and he's at your camp, so he's got nowhere to run, so he always comes back. That's just how that works. Every time you long rest or level up, his shop will refresh the same as any other vendor, and you can pickpocket him again. Another money method you can use is Warlock binded weapons. Once you got the pact of weapon binding, you can pact your weapon and then go into barter mode and try give it to a trader. To do this, put another weapon specifically into the barter menu, and then drag your packed weapon, which is equipped in your hand, over it. This will swap the two weapons around, allowing you to actually try give your weapon away, but because it's a packed weapon, it will not leave the inventory. Therefore, you can just keep balancing the offer and taking all the vendor's money and then buying whatever you want with that money, and then rinse and repeat. Along those same lines, this is the most OP version of these methods. If you want infinite money, infinite items, this one will grab everything from a trader. For this method, you'll need 2 backpacks and a body that you can loot. The body has to be something without a red loot on there, so something like an animal. I use a rat or a cat, something that's light. First of all, open up the body that you want to put all the items into. Do this right next to a trader, and then go and talk to the trader and open up their inventory. Once you're here, donate them a backpack. Reminder, you must be in barter. Once you're in barter mode, open up the backpack and drag all the items you'd like in there. Once you open up the bag, your body should also open up. Then drag all the items from the backpack to the rat and change your shop from barter to trade and close the shop. Then open up the backpack in your inventory and the body with all the items. Drag all the items from the rat to the icon of the backpack, and you have successfully now stolen all the items from that trader. You can get the Shade Clinger from Tali in Act 2. If you crouch in the shadows and swap your armor, you will keep the advantage on saving throws until your next long rest, regardless of what armor you are wearing. Pairing this with the Risky Ring gives you advantage on attack rolls with 0 downside, as you do no longer get the disadvantage on saving throws. Okay, the last bug I have here is kind of the most broken gameplay wise, I suppose. And this is for spell casters. So that you can get infinite spell slots for your level 2 spell slots in particular. It takes a very long time, but you can do it. This is the process in a very brief kind of way. There's plenty of videos if you do want to get a more in-depth version, and a bunch of different versions of this trick. So as a sorcerer, you can convert your level 1 and level 2 spell slots into sorcery points. Then convert sorcery points into level 2 spell slots. Repeat this until you're out of spell slots and sorcery points. After that, use a potion of Angelic Reprieve. This restores all level 1 and level 2 spell slots. You'll notice on your UI that you will have way more spell slots than is actually shown when you are out, and then you can repeat this process for as many potions of Angelic Reprieves that you have. This will allow you to have way more spell slots and then not resulting in needing to long rest. Okay, moving back to more proper tips now. Legendary actions. Every boss has a legendary action in Honor Mode in BG3, so it's always a good idea to check what that legendary action does if you're not familiar. Even I check these reactions, even if I do know what they are. It's just good to get the refresher so you don't autopilot do something. Take your time to read what they do and prepare accordingly. You can do this by right clicking on them and inspecting them. This will tell you exactly what they are and what they do and how it triggers. They are normally a once a turn effect, but some are multiple times, some can only happen during certain things or react to certain actions, things like that. So just keep an eye on how they work, and then you should be able to avoid most of them or work your way around it in some fashion. Number 8, we got scrolls and potions. Very easy one. Keep some of your scrolls and potions that you think might come in handy. You'll never know when you need a scroll or Misty Step or an invisible potion, so just keep them. They can take up very little carry weight, and they could very well save your run. Keep in mind that you can create potions as well, such as speed potions, which are great in Honor Mode. You can do this very early in Act 1 to get heaps of speed potions to carry you through the early game. Fleeing fights is a big one that I use a lot in Honor Mode, especially in solo. Remember, if you're very stuck and you don't feel like you can win a fight, fleeing is always an option. A Misty Step or Enhanced Leap can get you pretty much all the way out of a fight. Remember, taking a little extra time on a fight resetting is better than going back to the Nautiloid and restarting. So don't take the chance if you feel like you can't beat the fight in the current position, just reset it. And the last tip is take your time. Remember, Honor Mode is not a sprint, but a marathon. Take all the time to get all the things you require to beat a run. Unless you're doing some kind of challenge run, use every advantage you can get to secure your golden dice. I hope these tips help you beat Honor Mode, and if you're looking for a solo guide, click the video here. Otherwise, I'll see you next time.